at the GF property. The event is not open to the public. Construction has started on the new interchange being built on I-680 between Western Reserve Road and the Turnpike. Officials with Ohio Department of Transportation will be in the area next week talking to businesses about traffic delays due to the construction. The $11 million project should be done November of 2019. Attorneys for a convicted killer of an Ohio State student asked for mercy during sentencing yesterday. A jury deliberated just 5 hours Tuesday to convict Brian Goldsby on all counts in connection with the kidnapping, robbery, rape, and murder of Ohio State University student Reagan Tokes. In sports, the Cavs at Chicago, 7:30 pregame tonight on the Sports Animal 1390 WNIO. On the ice, the Youngstown Phantoms beat Green Bay 3-2. Preseason baseball, Oakland beat the Indians.
Our next update at 1:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charlie's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charlie's.
There's a reason I've been telling you about Blinds.com now for years. They are simply the best. Now, here's what a Blinds.com customer from Los Angeles had to say. Well, I heard of Blinds.com on Sean Hannity's program, so I called, and the salesperson was patient, even texting me clearer photos of the 2 fabrics that I was considering. Very happy, and the drapes, they look perfect. Just go to Blinds.com, find the perfect blind, shade, shutters, or drapes, and you could upgrade your home for less than almost any other home improvement. And you can find out for yourself why over 20 million Americans, including me, have trusted Blinds.com to upgrade their home, and they have made Blinds.com the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. So save big on custom blinds for your home during Blinds.com anniversary sale, now through March the 22nd. When you buy one, you get 50% off at Blinds.com/Hannity. Buy one, get one 50% off at Blinds.com/Hannity. One more time, Blinds.com/Hannity. Rules, restrictions apply.
At Fairway Ford in Canfield, we have a huge selection of the all-aluminum Super Duty trucks. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
It's the Tech Guy, Leo Laporte. Sunday nights at 6 on News Radio 570 WKBN.
Need a furnace and AC checkup? Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast from News Radio 570 WKBN.
An iHeart radio station.
Skies will become partly sunny throughout the afternoon, a high 42. Tonight, mostly clear, a low 22. Sunshine Sunday with a high of 50. Monday, mostly sunny and a high 46.
Right now, it's 36.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is the show that we get to do on Saturdays. We talk about things that are going on in tech, and we also leave the phone lines open for you to call in if you might have some questions or need some guidance or just want to talk about the things that we are talking about today. Really, there's nothing off the table, so if you, depending on if you're just getting started and you just want to, pick my brain while you have me here, feel free. 330-729-9977 is the phone number. And sort of the philosophy is we create this venue so that all the listeners, no matter what phase they are at developing into the tech world, that it's a nice, honest, and open collaboration where the people that are sort of behind us, we all get to kind of join in and talk about these things in a way that those people can learn and by context kind of fill in gaps that they might have. We don't want this to be intimidating because that's the #1 thing that's going to make you bail out on it is if you get intimidated and scared or think it's above you, and it really isn't. None of this stuff is very difficult, but it's kept difficult because #1, it changes constantly, and the people who talk about this stuff have a tendency to talk about it about 3 miles above your head. So the only stuff that you end up picking up are the stuff that you pick up on your own. And so what this show helps to do is to just facilitate more of that, sponging off of people and giving you a nice, safe place to listen to this stuff without there being any pressure on you, to do anything. When it's your stuff at stake, when you're sitting in front of your computer, you make a boneheaded move and you could be in some trouble. But if you listen through the experiences of other people. Those other people are doing this stuff anyway. We're just using it to learn collectively. And so I'm just the engineer here where I keep this the conversations moving, but it's really the callers that share their experiences that help me talk about this stuff. When we do it out loud, all of us learn from it. So I want to tell you that at some point we're going to talk about a topic that might make all of you a little bit mad. And so we're going to attempt to create a Saturday sandwich here where we're going to try to do happy stuff for a little bit. Then I'm going to make you mad. And then by the end of the show, make you happy again. So you might forget that I made you mad in the middle. But we'll take calls all show long. So if you have anything that you want to share or you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free, 330-729-9977. Also, you can text me here at 333-1570. Again, that's in the 330 area code. So if you want to text us all program long, I will check in from time to time and see if there are any questions out there waiting for us. So it's 330-333-1570 to text me during the program today. All right, so one of the major topics that I want to talk about, and I got asked a couple times, and I really shied away from it because it's nothing but, where people want to know my opinion. I'm telling you, you really don't want to know my opinion. The influence of negative video games and media and just overall culture as the villain in this whole storyline of what would make a young adult or a young teen want to take the lives of other people. And so whereas we want to dig through this really nasty topic and find a villain, find a silver bullet, that's pretty much where my thoughts are going to be. And I know when people ask my opinion, they really don't want to know it, but I'm going to share it with all of you at some point in the program today. And really, I'm a scientific guy. I'm a data-driven guy. Okay, this is a very big, emotionally driven issue, and I am not swayed by emotion so much as the data and where it leads us. So if you want to solve a problem, I'm a professional problem solver, and while I might listen to your fears and stuff like that, I'm more guided by, if you really want me to solve the problem, give me what is, and then I will construct all of the engineering and whatnot that fixes the actual problem, and then we can talk about your feelings about it after those things have been constructed. So feel free to chime in on that along as we go as the program. But let's take some phone calls right off the get-go. So I got to make you guys feel good first before I get you all pissed off. So first we're going to go to WT. WT, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hi, Joe. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
You can help me with a cell phone question, can't you?
I can.
Okay. I had a mishap with my phone, and I had to make a claim on my insurance, and I got to send back my phone. Here's the problem. I normally would, if I could, erase everything or reset it or whatever, but I can't do it because what's wrong with it is the screen won't come up. And I've talked to 2 or 3 different places, and I thought this was caused by a moisture problem because I had a little episode where I kind of got drenched and I had the phone in my pocket, and all of a sudden after that it started, the screen was slow to come up, and then finally it wouldn't come up at all. Is there anything I can do? I mean, I'm from a privacy standpoint or a identity theft. I just kind of worry about sending the phone out back. I got to send the old one back, and I can't erase it.
Is this iPhone or is it a Android phone?
It's Android.
Okay, well, that's actually good news. There's a lot of applications that you can load on a PC that will interface the Android phone and allow you to root it. You'll actually be able to get into the hard drive. Even though you're not seeing anything on the display, you can get into the storage on the phone, and you can muck up the data. You can delete or change a good part of the data. So you might have a chance. It all depends on the directory structure and how far you can root down into the phone, because there's some stuff you might have to do at an interface that might block you from getting totally down in there. So it is possible. I give you about a 50-50 shot on it.
Okay. Well, am I being paranoid? I don't know about, I can change all my passwords for anything. There are some things like social media that we're loading, automatically because I never usually turn on the thing where it says automatically load, but I get tired of some things that I use a lot, putting in the password. But I've changed everything for the most part. I've changed anything I've used, like related to financial, I've changed, but Now you're saying I do this, what? I go to my PC and get this app on
Yeah,
my
you're gonna
PC,
look. There's a bunch of software that allow you to do it, but you're gonna look for software that allows you to root an Android phone, and then through that software you can interface it directly. If it's got a charge and it's actually working, you can run up into the phone and at least take some of those folders and remove if there's some pictures or some media on it that you want to clear off of there. Is it a pretty reputable place that you're sending it back to?
Well, I don't know. I guess it's an insurance company, but they didn't impress me too much. I had to pay a deductible, and they charged the deductible twice. So, I mean, I've been through this before with them. I have bad luck with phones, and I put this one in a survivor case. But you'll get a laugh if you tell you what happened. I was getting into a Jeep that had a canvas roof on it. It was raining like crazy. I got in and didn't realize there's a whole bunch of water up there on the roof. I bumped the door, and I got an immediate shower.
Oh, no way. All right. So if you're sure that it is just the screen and it didn't go further than that, then yeah, you probably will be able to do something in that way. Did you have an entry password to get into the phone when you turn it on?
No, but I've learned my lesson about that. It's like the phones are hard enough to use for an old man, and I'm doing pretty good for my age, but I just, anything I got to put in, I'm not a thumb typer,
Right.
I never learned how to type with my thumb, so it's only just I had typing in high school, and I did pretty well, but then after that, about 3 years later, all I could do was just, 2 fingers.
All right.
I don't know how these people type with their thumbs. How do they do that?
It's a learned skill. I can't do that either.
Okay, well, that makes me feel a lot better.
All right, well, be sure to let me know how it all goes down, and if you're able to, and if you need any assistance, feel free to call the guys down at the shop.
One last question.
Sure.
Is that connect to my phone going to be by cable, or
it
is it
is
going to be Wi-Fi? Or
it's going to be through cable. Yep.
Okay. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. And if any, let me just kind of share with all of the rest of you. Let's get him back off there. Okay, so the 2 things you want to go on here. So when phones traditionally, when you set a passcode, what you're essentially doing is you're locking the phone so that even if someone gets in possession of your phone without that passcode, the data is encrypted. So in order to get in, you've got to get the passcode, and that sort of keeps your, whether it be an iPhone or an Android device, you want to make sure that you do put a passcode lock on there. Now, in WT's case, I don't know that anything would help him. Once you lose the display, it's pretty hard, to then progress. I mean, he might have a backup that saves him on his end as far as his backing up, but it doesn't save the phone and being able to get in there and, get anything else done. So, sure hope that helped, WT, and hopefully you will call back and let us know how that went. I'm interested. So let's go to the next call. Phone number 330-729-9977. Let's go to Paul next. Paul, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can we help you?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Last week I asked you about Word. How do you get a line that you can have columns? You said something about you were going to tell me off the air, but I got another call on another phone, long distance.
Yeah.
Line.
Okay. So
I'm on it right now.
Okay. So you're gonna. It's basically you're going to go to insert table.
Got that.
And then I believe. I wish I had Word sitting here in front of me.
Okay. It says smart chart screen table pictures.
Table.
What is it?
Table is, and then you're going to get a little diagram where you can drag the cursor over.
I got table.
And when you drag it to the right, you're adding columns, and when you drag it down, you're adding rows. So if you want to,
they're all squares.
Yes, so you're going to drag that out until you get each one of those squares represents a column and a row. So if you wanted 3 columns and 3 rows, you'd drag it over a 3x3 area, and then it'll present a column down on the page.
Drag with right or left?
With the left mouse button.
Left, okay, I've done that. It's all the way over, and it does nothing. It shows a table on the left, but it doesn't show it on here, unless it leaves it there. There's a picture of all these others, or I got it right now.
You got it?
Click on that. I got you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it. And this is basically in the tool settings in Word. They have those ribbon tools that are along the top, and where you go to the tool that's marked tables, you can draw a table out in a Word document, so you have columns, you have rows and cells, so you can almost operate like you do over in Excel, just in a smaller area. So All right, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Nate next. Nate, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
Good. I had a question, maybe two questions. I want to install or create a server using Linux, and the guy told me to use CentOS. It's an app that uses Linux, I guess, software. It's just an old computer I have sitting around. I just want to keep some files on it. Have you heard of CentOS?
Oh yeah, I've heard of CentOS. I've never actually configured it on my own. I've prepared some machines and ended up putting CentOS on it. And we sent it out and they configured it. I have about 10 seconds of familiarity with it.
Okay, is there another one that would be better, or is that as good as any of them?
I'm really familiar with Ubuntu. That's the one that it's my go-to. I either use Linux Mint or Linux Ubuntu. And Ubuntu's, once you get familiar with how they do things, they have a server version of it and they have a workstation version of it. So that's kind of cool. You can if you're really interested in the server. I run a lot of servers just off the workstation part of it. It's got Samba that you can install for your sharing and get it to participate in the network. It's got the ability to run web services and stuff like that. So it's been my go-to because it as far as that utilitarian where you can put it on not a real heavy and powerful machine and really get a lot done with it.
Okay, because the one guy is a big-time Ubuntu user, but he was the one that suggested using CentOS. But I thought you installed Linux first and then put this CentOS on top of it. I guess CentOS is a site of its own.
Gotcha. Yeah, and again, my lack of familiarity more from anything. But I have a guy in office that when it comes to Linux stuff, that's a really good bounce off him kind of question. So if you want me to come back to the table next week and deliver a little bit more of a valuable answer, I could do that for you for sure.
That will be great. The other question I had, are you familiar with LibreOffice as opposed to Word?
Yeah, sure.
Does it do pretty much the same thing? The files will translate between each other as a Word doc?
My experience is that Word does really well. There's some formatting changes that aren't exact. So a lot of our customers who are in the legal world, if they upload like a subpoena template, it changes just enough that it's annoying. So if you've got really heavily formatted documents, it doesn't do a real great job. And on the calc side or the spreadsheet side, if you've got really heavy formulas that have lots of link-ins to other worksheets and whatever, it kind of breaks those too. But if you've got pretty simple stuff, pretty simple formulas, it does a great job.
Okay, perfect. That's what I need to know.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks, Nate. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. And 330-729-9977. And what, did I hang up? All right. Anyway. All right. So what I will do, we're going to go to Nate when we come back from the next break. I don't want to start taking that call. No, Nate's not there. Okay, so here's my little lead in here for what we're going to talk about at the bottom of the hour, or the breaks after the bottom of the hour. The whether or not we have too many negative things in our culture that are beginning to sort of show within generationally, where the generation before me. Culturally, we were impressing upon people valor and virtue, and the music reflected it, the movies reflected it, the culture in general embraced all of this stuff. And the next generation is so inundated with the opposite, sin, and all of that stuff is so... Well, anyway, we'll talk about that more when we come back from the break. Denny, I see you out there, so I'll take your call when we get back. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
It's the age-old question, how to extend your life. Well, getting the right form of vitamin C may help. Tune in Sunday morning at 7 and hear Dr. Michael Pincus get the information you need on 570 WKBN.
So what are you guys doing this weekend?
Saturday, we're going to the Canfield Lions Craft, Quilt, and Antique Show.
Free admission, free parking.
A craft show? Hey, is Jerry going with you?
Yeah, there's over 140 craft spaces.
Free admission, free parking.
Is that the one at Canfield High School?
Uh-huh. And they have dozens of beautiful handmade quilts. I went there last year and found so much neat stuff. There's a 50-50 raffle, and there's plenty of good food.
The Canfield Lions Annual Craft, Quilt, and Antique Show. Saturday, March 17th from 10 to 4 at Canfield High School.
Stifel is a full-service firm offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. Stifel has 5 offices in the Valley with experienced advisors assisting you. For more information, visit stifel.com or call 330-744-4351. Stifel Nicholas & Company, Incorporated.
Cord, have you seen the new inventory of trailers at Leonard Truck and Trailer?
Sure have, Cash. And Leonard Truck and Trailer has the trained experts to assure your quality service.
And what a lot of people don't know, our staff actually uses the trailers that they sell.
Our knowledgeable staff will help you make the right decision and help you get the trailer you need for anything.
Don't forget to check out the Armory at LTT, only at Leonard Truck and Trailer.
There's trailers everywhere!
Hey, Fast Freddy to tell you that St. Patty's Day is rocking at Magic Tree on South Avenue in Boardman. We got the Rage on stage until about 2:30. I'll take over then. We got the Dickie White Band coming in. We got Pipers. We got the Chardon Polka Band. Without a doubt, the best St. Patty's Day party in town is rocking with 93.3 The Wolf and Coors Light.
Hi, this is Dan Rivers. Americans, we are a busy lot, huh? Always on the move. In the car, in the office, working around the house. We can't sit still. So how do you, as a marketer, connect with those moving targets? Radio. It reaches 93% of Americans each week. People just don't have the time to sit and watch TV. So when you want to connect with all those constantly moving targets, get AM/FM working for you. Just go to iHeartMedia.com.
Make your reservations now for Mr. Anthony's Easter Buffet, Sunday, April 1st. Enjoy featured entrees like carved prime rib, carved glazed ham and leg of lamb, a dessert station, and much more. Adults just $25.95, children 6 to 10, $10.95. Soft drinks and tip included, tax additional. Cash bar available. Call 758-5721 for reservations at noon, 1, or 2:30 p.m. Book your 2018 graduation party now with Mr. Anthony's. Visit MrAnthony'sEventCenter.com or call 758-5721.
The Powerball jackpot is up to $455 million. That's so much money, I can't say it without shouting. Am I still shouting? I'm sorry. I'm having trouble controlling the volume of my voice. Get your Powerball tickets now. You don't have to pay with cash to win cash. You can use your credit card, debit card, or smartphone to buy your favorite Ohio Lottery games. Swipe, pay, and play at Ohio Lottery self-service machines. Daily limits apply. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Please play responsibly.
Temperature 37.
Hi, this is Mo Ray. Check me out Sundays at 10 for the other side of talk radio on News Radio 570 WKBN.
All right, everybody, this is the Youngstown Computer Show. I love that song. I'm telling you, Green Day is awesome. And I'm also glad that Mo Ray's down on this station, too. It's good to hear his promos for tomorrow's show, so make sure you check him out. He's a very reasonable guy, and even if you disagree with him, it's fun to listen to him because he's an intellectual when it comes from his stuff. So I'm a big fan. All right, so we were talking a little bit about the influences of video games on our culture. A couple people asked me about it last week, and I wanted to kind of save my reaction to it for the program today. But before we do that, let's go next to Denny. I believe I just totally hung up on him on the last thing, so I'm glad he called back. Denny, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Like Arnold, I'm back again.
All right.
Hardware and a software question, if you have time.
Sure, go for it.
I pulled a hard drive out of an old desktop machine, and now it's time to figure out what to do with it. I didn't reformat it, or I didn't wipe it, and my usual method of recycling it is to get my drill out and put a hole through the case. Is that okay with you, or is some kid in Asia still going to figure out a way of reconstituting the data?
No, there's almost no way. I mean, it would be so hit or miss that if you destroy the platters that are inside of the mechanical drive, it's done for. When they do recovery, they basically disassemble the drive. They take the individual platters. There's usually like 3 platters or 4 platters in there, and then they take them out and put them into a machine that reads them like a record would play on a record player. If you've got a big gouge out of it or a hole, first of all, it's not going to come up to a speed. It's going to be all thrown off. It's going to wobble. So I almost guaranteed you destroy it when you do that.
Okay. Second question, I recorded some audio that I wanted to send through the internet, and it was 30 minutes worth. I did it on an MP3 recorder type thing, and the file was too big for an AOL attachment. So the only solution that I could come up with would be to break it into pieces with Premiere Elements and then send it in 3 different pieces perhaps. But I was wondering, do you know of any audio software that would act like a sort of like a compression or a zip file type thing that maybe would take an audio file and shrink it down into a smaller space.
Sure. Let me give you two options. The first is probably a better option. If you just take a like a Dropbox or a cloud storage program, they'll usually give you 5 gigs or so for free. You can upload the full file to Dropbox and then just email the link to somebody where they can then download the whole audio file without you having to do anything. That's probably easier than having to compress things out.
Okay.
But the other answer is, since you asked, Audacity, Audicity,
yes.
Has some MP3 sort of like tools in there that will let you change, little drop-down box, let you change the compression so that you can get smaller files out of it. And they have macros that say large, medium, big, something like that.
Okay. I've used that in the past, experimented with it anyway, to try to take out pieces of sound that I didn't want from something that was in the background, but I've never tried using it for that. I didn't know it had that capability, too.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Thanks, Denny. Appreciate you being out there. Appreciate all of our calls so far. This has been awesome. 330-729-9977. This is kind of interesting. I was reading some predictions about technology in our society from the past, and some of these are kind of awesomely fun to hear. So this is from 1800, and there's a professor out of the College of London says, rail travel at high speed is not possible because passengers would be unable to breathe and would die of asphyxia. And that was Dr. Dionysius, and that was in 1800. So high-speed rail, not possible. So take that one off of the plate. The telephone, and this was from 1876, the telephone has too many shortcomings to be seriously considered as a means of communication. 1876. Everyone acquainted with the subject will recognize it is a conspicuous failure. And this was talking about Thomas Edison's light bulb in 1880. So light bulbs and telephones, don't even get used to these luxuries, my friends, because there's no way they're going to make a way onto the into the market. This from 1900. There will be no letter C, X's, or Q's in our everyday alphabet because they will be abandoned because of they are unnecessary. So that's from 1900. And let's see, and from 1902, flight by machines heavier than air is unpractical and insignificant, if not utterly impossible. So there you go, through a couple of our predictions about the future that are a little absurd from today's perspective. All right, everybody out there, stay tuned. We're going to take some more calls when we come back from the break, and we're just going to talk about our topic that's surely to get you all upset. So you're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Attorneys for a convicted killer of an Ohio State student asked for mercy during sentencing yesterday. A jury deliberated just 5 hours Tuesday to convict Brian Goldsby on all counts in connection with the kidnapping, robbery, rape, and murder of Ohio State University student Reagan Tokes. Congressman Tim Ryan has introduced new legislation to get more money to fight the opioid epidemic. The bill would provide $1 billion in funding. It would also increase the penalties on drug manufacturers that don't report suspicious orders, as well as put a 3-day limit on the number of opioid prescriptions for pain. The public schools in Fargo, North Dakota have announced that Youngstown CEO Krish Mohip is a superintendent finalist. Mohip is also a finalist for the superintendent job in Boulder, Colorado. The North Dakota interviews happen next week. You may be hearing the sounds of gunfire in the area near Denick Avenue. 27 First News reports Youngstown Mayor Tito Brown says a World War II reenactment club is conducting exercises this afternoon and Sunday at the GF property. The event is not open to the public. Construction has started on the new interchange being built on I-680 between Western Reserve Road and the Turnpike. Officials with Ohio Department of Transportation will be in the area next week talking to businesses about traffic delays due to the construction. The $11 million project should be done November of 2019. In sports, the Cavs at Chicago, 7:30 pregame tonight on the Sports Animal 1390 WNIO. On the ice, the Youngstown Phantoms beat Green Bay 3-2. Preseason baseball, Oakland beat the Indians yesterday 7-3. The Tribe takes on the Cubs today, 3:59 this afternoon on News Radio 570 WKBN. From the all-new and 2018 Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2.
Fairway Ford in Canfield is now specializing in the new Ford Super Duty trucks, both gas and diesel engines. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Hey guys, what puts a bigger smile on your face than driving around in a clean, older four-wheel drive truck? Imagine pulling into the hardware store in that lifted 85 Chevy K20, or getting all the thumbs up driving down the road in that 76 F250 Highboy. This is Joe Fire from Fireball Motors. We sell those trucks. We specialize in non-rusty West Coast trucks from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s that are under 10 grand. We are located on Route 422, just an eighth mile from the PA border, or online at fireballtrucks.com. And remember, Fireball means four-wheel drive.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee, and you're even getting up at night to go. This is not okay. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 prostate formula, are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one. To celebrate, we're sending free bottles to men who want to cut down on bathroom trips. Yes, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Call 1-800-252-8940. Early research suggests that an ingredient in P3 Advanced may help support a normal prostate size. Combine that with a reduction in urges to pee, and you have a formula you'd be crazy not to try. Get P3 Advanced free. Call 1-800-252-8940. 1-800-252-8940. 1-800-252-8940.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
For your home or business, call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast from News Radio 570 WKBN.
An iHeart radio station.
Skies will become partly sunny throughout the afternoon, a high 42. Tonight, mostly clear, a low 22. Sunshine Sunday with a high of 50. Monday, mostly sunny and a high 46.
Temperature 37.
For news on demand, go to 570WKBN.com. Brought to you by Donnell Ford.
Discover the Donnell difference.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and we get to talk about these things on the weekend. So we're dedicating a little bit of our time today on more of a social issue than a technical issue, but it's still relevant with all the things that have happened over the last couple of weeks, and I've been asked about it, so here goes. So for the uninitiated, what people are talking about when they're referencing video games that are influencing children to, act out in violence, are these, typically you have these first-person shooter games, okay? And that's pretty much the engines that exist for gameplay these days. It's really easy to get a first-person shooter going, and the graphics change and the purpose changes, but it's really you run around with big weaponry and you're killing something. You're killing aliens, you're killing other people, and so on and so forth. So the question is, the people who are interested in not having violent behavior come from such games, is that, when you start a kid at 10 years old who's, full of those hormones, and you put them in front of a first-person shooter, and they've played it for a long enough time where the sight of blood and picturing you taking a life of somebody goes from its human form, where you have empathy for the life that you just squelched, to just shooting a person in a game that they can respawn with. Okay, so if you do that long enough, the psychological effects is that you're desensitized to the reaction to death and killing and blood, and just the how people should be reacting to things that are to that level. We shouldn't be comfortable with a headshot, right? But I've heard kids talk about, a headshot and, celebrating over that was awesome. So, but you can see how our culture has changed because our language and our reactions to things has changed too. So early on in the internet, before the internet, the movies that really got people, where they used to have this series of movies that ran, that you could watch a movie that was very graphic about people dying. Okay, so not only did you see, the violence leading up to it, I think it was called Faces of Death at the time, and so you were able to see people dead, twitching bodies, blood, gore, and all of this stuff, and it was the worst of the worst, because you can go up to your teens and have never seen, besides a funeral, a dead body, right? You didn't even know what one looked like. You didn't know the color of blood and pools would be. And so, through technology, we're able to simulate things that are, it's totally interesting to be a robber for a day and see what that would be like, or see what a car chase would be like from the driver's perspective. And so as our technology got better, we were able to live these sort of they became interesting because they were a little rebellious, and so then gameplay, it sort of was the Britney Spears effect, where first she's showing some legs, and then the rest of the story, where maybe it was a little bit of blood, and then it got more graphic, and then as you needed more and more and more to get the same kind of reaction from less stimulus on your end, but more stimulus on what's being provided. So you look at it from this, if the people that do this from a science standpoint, okay, if they are just people who study culture and study society, they have to know the effects of these things on how the greater society is impacted by that kind of data. So emotion out of it. If you take a room and you put a chocolate cake in the middle and you take 20 people, what does the data say that is likely to happen when you put chocolate cake? Well, you can suspend and say everybody in that room is so powerful, they know wrong and right, and they're not going to take the chocolate cake. But then you do the experiment and find out that there's a certain segment who's going to say it's not my cake, or I don't want to eat it, and they're not going to do it anyway. And there's going to be a certain segment that don't hesitate for 2 seconds and do it in very overt ways. And then that middle section is going to maybe slide into it and be unsure and whatever. So I'm sure that's going to be, whenever we take these hypotheticals that we pretty much know what society is going to do, we can't be in denial for whatever reason based on our how much we don't want the data to be true. Okay, so if we set the temptations in our society where we put, we idolize people who are violent, and our television programs are violent, and our games are violent, and we have the tools of violence, and nobody responds to violence, and nobody responds negatively to, drug dealing and gangs and the music that, or all of those things that find their way into our culture, find our way into our music, our movies, our gameplay. I mean, we're surrounded by it. There's not a day that goes by that there isn't something making a psychological impact on us, just like the chocolate cake would be in the center of the room. We want to believe that most people can control that. We want to most believe that we have the principles enough to know what we should and shouldn't do. But what about the weakest amongst us? If we're planning that they're just we'll figure it out when we get there, you're dealing with what we deal with now. So I mean, in utopia, right? We all go for the valor and virtue, and we change our music up so that that we're listening to songs that make an impression on our subconscious, so that we behave well when we're out in society. And we watch movies that, again, they make a positive impact. So when we look up to our heroes, we want our heroes to be noble, and we emulate the people who are noble. We don't want the guy that you can't figure out if he's a good guy or bad guy, or we don't want to say, hey, the bad guy's really the protagonist in the film, because you can get these really gray lines where behaviors, where what we see, we're expecting everybody just show judgment and know what is fantasy and what is reality, when we know in that spectrum of 20 people in that room that you're going to have, the 10% that just do the principled thing no matter what, and you have the other line of the 10% that don't do the principled thing because they hate the principled thing, and everything in between is probably a gradient from start to finish. I mean, you're talking to a guy that every day reads the 7 positive things that I want to happen that day. I program my brain from the first thought of my day about things I want to happen. I don't listen to a song. My wife and I like the beat on this What song, and the whole song said, I'm stressed out, and stressed out, right? And if you listen to the song over and over again, sure, some of us can hear the song and just, convert it into something that's not negative. But there's a whole lot of us that buy into these songs, and it creates our feelings and our emotions and how we show up to work that day. I show up to work great every day because I program myself from the time that I wake up, positive and influential things that get me motivated and an optimistic feel. I have to be that way when I go out into the field. I don't want to, listen to something that's provocative right off the get-go and repeat it over and over. I mean, you ask advertisers, if I'm going to ask them if they, these the things that they build in, the focus groups that they put in their advertisement make them work, if there's any psychology in what guides us to certain actions, and see if those same kinds of things are happening, even if they're not on purpose. Where if I wanted you to eat pizza and it's during the Super Bowl, am I going to put a pizza box there, or am I going to show you a close-up of the hot, steamy, whatever? I'm going to take control of your emotions and guide your impulses so that you buy my pizza, right? There's a whole every action, every motivation is rooted in that kind of environmental, and I'll call it pressures. It's more like, you see it happen, and you see it happen long enough, and the stigma is relieved, then you're more likely to do those things, right? So I'm looking at it from this has like 90 components. We all don't want people to show up at school and start gunning people down. I also don't want somebody from the time they're 10 years old for 5 years played a game where they got to gun a bunch of people down with no repercussions, because that person is translating an action that later on, if they have a moment of weakness or they have a moment of depression or they even have mental illness, that's what's going to happen. They're going to go to what's familiar, which means when they get stressed out, their deal is they go gun people down, and it's not going to phase them. The needle's not going to move because that's the conditioning they got. That is their version of learning. They're going to pick up everything from culture and what they're surrounded with, because once the parent loses influence, then it's the job of the rest of the culture to fill in the gaps. And I'm telling you, I've watched these games, and that's what's being filled in the gap. So as a scary proposition, are games violent? Yes, but they're just the same as everything else. So if you want to wipe out violence in games, cool. Wipe it out in music, wipe it out in television, wipe it out in movies, wipe it out of our culture in general. And I just don't think we have the stones to pull something like that off. I don't think we could, we're smart enough to make multi-generational steps of intelligence, right? Where we're willing to pay the consequences of saying, hey, I'm gonna forego listening to this music in front of my kids because it might down the road have some big repercussions. I just don't think we're, as a society, can come together and be intelligent. We go, we grab pitchforks and we go out with torches, and we're so mad, and we take the first unintelligent rock and we make that the villain, and when we split it in half, we don't really care if that fixed it or not, but it made us feel better. So the emotional response is twofold. We get mad, we've picked something that we think might fix it, doesn't actually fix it, but it made it feel better, we move on to the next time it happens again, over and over and over in cycles. I watch it happen, and nobody really says, hey, problem solver Joe, how do you really fix this? Because you're not going to listen to my solution, because it's hard, and it makes some concessions on what you have to put up with for the larger goal. You're not going to do it. So, and that's why I'm not asked my opinion all that often on these kind of things, because there's 0% chance that my utopia has even a chance. But if those principles, if everybody started vocalizing like I'm here, I'm not afraid of my opinion, because it's not an emotional one. It's a data one. And so where you can take this, if you smashed out negative influence, if I went in that room with the cake, took that cake, smashed it on the floor, and then I asked, what's the likelihood of them eating cake? Sure, that worked, right? But the culture's still messed up. It didn't help it. But if I condition you over and over and over and over and over again how to not eat the cake, and then I ran the experiment, guess what we'd have? We'd have less people. It wouldn't be the natural gradient of the 10%, and everything in between. I would have, the culture I would have learned. I would have, I would educated how to take these violent things and convert them like I do in the morning into positive approaches when we go out into the field. So we could either just let things how we are and express those freedoms and deal with the consequences and just do our stupid torch and pitchfork routine, or we can get intelligent and sure, my kid goes and plays a video game. Well, if they're playing a violent video game, I'm going to have lots of talks about the real expressions of when you get angry and how to express yourself and how to solve problems without gunning people down, because I don't know that we have that talk. I think we're in this deal where it's an all or nothing thing, and if they're out there playing the games, I will just hope they figure it out. And that's nonsense. I mean, that's the worst kind of stupidity that exists in our society. So I hope somebody out there, maybe 2 or 3 of you, will have some conversations where it may not work. Let's just try to push that threshold where we have less and less people that think that is the norm. Think that I want you to, when you see blood and gore, I want it to to affect you. I want you to look away. I don't want you to ever be able to look at that stuff and be okay with it. So when I started watching The Walking Dead way back in the day, that stuff was just downright scary, right? And now I can see a zombie with flesh hanging off of their skin, and it doesn't even affect me. It's just another character in the role of a movie that we're also, disconnected from. There's no way that I could build back up that disdain for that kind of stuff ever again. I just have to watch for the next time where I don't want to bury too many of these things that I'm unaffected. You ever wonder why when you're watching in movies and TVs and you can see people getting gunned down, do you never see like a baby get shot? Do you know why? Because that still would really affect negatively that a baby just got shot. Now, they'll allude to a baby getting shot, but they'll never show a baby. I don't care what rating you have on it. They're going to have a baby being shown, right? But that used to be that they would never show sex. They would never show a dismembered body with bullet holes ridden and whatever. So that's where we're coming. So, hey, maybe we're on the era where nothing makes us upset. Nothing disturbs us. Maybe nothing, is off limits. And we've rid of all these taboos and taken them off the table. So, this is what we get. And I'm not practicing that, okay? So in my little world, I'm keeping that stuff at bay because I don't want the repercussions. I'm not built for it. And I don't want to take things away, and I don't want to, penalize all of society because they want to go down those paths. You've got the freedom to do whatever you want, but you can't gripe about the outcome when you're sitting back waiting for somebody else to educate and somebody else to penalize while you're sitting there like a victim. Well, you start having the conversations and you start controlling the culture, then it is your thing. You do have a say in this. So let's stop blaming other people and kind of take it on ourselves. So that is my opinion. So when you ask me if I think video games and violence are affecting our kids, I say hell yeah, along with a ton of other stuff that, we've just begun picking the meat off of this bone. So, all right, 330-729-9977. We can get off that. Now I'll try to make you feel better again. Question off of text messaging. Do I need RDS cows if I'm only using RDP to administer the server? No, it actually, each one of these servers, they will, man, I made that was a terrible transition from piss-offedness to actually answering a computer question. But yeah, the answer is that servers come with built-in ones without having to do licensing on remote desktop. If you've got a single user that you're administering, you can use the one that's built in. You do not have to convert it. You're going to play with the, if I log in, I've got to log you off thing. You're not going to have this open 5 users, concurrent users and whatever. In order to get that, you do have to install remote desktop services, and then you do have to have licensing after your grace period. I think they give you like 200 and some days of grace period after you turn remote desktop on to actually, throw the licensing in and stuff like that. So what remote desktop is for everyone else, built inside of any non-home version of your operating system is remote desktop services, servers, workstations, the whole thing, where from a remote location, you can log into your desktop from home. So when I go on vacation and I need to get something off of my computer, I use remote desktop to tunnel in through my home network and get into my machine, and I can see things on my machine just like I were sitting in front of it. So remote desktop service does that translation with remote desktop clients that are basically on every machine. If you search for remote desktop client, it's pretty much on every machine that there ever is. But in order to host it, in order for the computer to be able to be taken over, it has to be running a non-home version of it. And so if you want to experiment with that, read a couple articles on enabling it. If you go into Advanced System Properties and go to the Remote tab, you can find Remote Desktop and then enable it. And once it's enabled, all you got to do is provide a pathway. They're all set up as 3389 as the port number. So you tunnel 3389 from the outside world into that computer's IP address, and then you have a machine that you're able to take over. All right, we're going to take a break, come back and take some more of your phone calls. If you want to get queued up, 330-729-9977, or you can text us at 333-1570. More when we come back.
People who care about this community. Search jobs and apply online right now. Get the advantage of finding a job close to home at MahoningValleyHelpWanted.com. Local jobs that work.
It's Bernard Daniels' 100th year of serving the Valley, and the savings have never been better. Right now, Bernard Daniels is offering 50% off select Anderson storm doors. That's 50% off. Closeout engineered hardwood as low as $1.35 per square foot while supplies last. And select steel roofing and siding is $2.15 per linear foot. As always, you know Bernard Daniels has your greatest selection of pole barns that they will install. But you got to schedule soon, only at Bernard Daniels in Canfield. BDLumber.com.
Hey, Fast Freddy to tell you that St. Patty's Day is rocking at Magic Tree on South Avenue in Boardman. We got the Rage on stage until about 2:30. I'll take over then. We got the Dickie White Band coming in. We got Pipers. We got the Chardon Polka Band. Without a doubt, the best St. Patty's Day party in town is rocking with 93.3 The Wolf and Coors Light.
This is Smart Hacks for your smart speakers. I'm Stacey Walter. Did you know that Alexa will read bedtime stories to your child? Yeah, just say, Alexa, tell bedtime story to Billy, and you can both sit back until one of you falls asleep. Once upon a time. Alexa also connects you to your favorite live radio stations with iHeartRadio. Tell Alexa to play your favorite iHeartRadio station like this. Alexa, play iHeart 80s. Playing iHeart 80s on iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio has all your favorite music and radio on your smart speaker. This has been Smart Hacks for your smart speakers.
Temperature 37.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We're talking about things in tech and overall everything, about computers. So if you need some guidance or direction, be sure to get in touch with us, 330-729-9977. Let's at least begin the conversation here with Dawn. Dawn's on the line. You're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hi, Joe. Hey, I had a question. I have, this is an Amazon Alexa question. I have a stereo system that uses a digital analog stage. So if I'm streaming from Pandora, it warms the sound up and processes it nicely. And my girlfriend has introduced an Alexa into the mix, and we're going to be hooking it up tomorrow. And I was wondering if there's any type of, I'd like to get the signal digitally in some fashion over to my system so that I can use my nice converter to run the sound through my stereo. Are you aware of any hookups offhand that might do that?
As far as if you're playing music out of the Alexa and kind of getting into a stereo system so it doesn't have, that it's not, are you just looking for stereo or are you looking for, more than stereo?
No, I'm just looking for stereo, and I'm just looking for a way to get the signal from Alexa into my stereo unit.
Okay, so there's the big Alexa actually has its own speaker system, and you can connect to it by Bluetooth in and out. But they have another version, a slimmed down version. It looks like a little hockey puck. And that version has an audio out port, and that's probably your best way to get it into your stereo system. That one's built. It doesn't really have good speakers built in. They're intending for you to take the signal that's coming out of that Alexa and get it into something that's bigger and more dynamic.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's definitely worth a shot. We'll have fun hooking it up. Hey, by the way, I heard what you said. I agree that you become what you surround yourself with. You're a computer. You program yourself with positive things, and positive things come about in your life. So
Absolutely.
I absolutely agree with programming yourself before you start your day. Some people do that with religion. Some do it with philosophy, but it's a good thing.
That's it. All right.
Thanks, Joe. Take
All right.
care.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate you being out there. And, I really like when culture starts to see that they're behaving in a way that could be better, because then that gives us a chance to, try harder and make a more conscious effort. Because we think if we just don't pay attention to it, we think someone else is going to grab it and do something about it, then we all sit there and watch, Rome burn. And everybody says, hey, where's our villain? Who are we going to do that? But when the adults all stand up and say, hey, this is enough. This is ridiculous. We're going through the same process. We're never solving the problems. And we're always in this state of crisis. That when we all stand up and say, there's no more of it, because we're going to change. We're going to act how we should, and then we're going to put the pressure on the culture to also act the way that it should. And then when you connect those two things out, you get enough people involved in pushing for the positive programming, where you go out there and you affect things and you share your positive nature with other things. Because naturally, that's not how it is. You till a garden and you're going to get weeds. Okay, that's the easiest thing that's going to show up. So that nature teaches us that if we don't put good things in, bad's going to just replace it. And especially if all of us are just watching and addicted to the drama and the dopamine of the bad things happening, I mean, you can only predict the cake is going to be eaten, and it's probably going to be eaten by most people. And the people who can do something about it, those are the ones I blame the most. The people who can't, like, I'm not putting the mentally weak or the having mental problems as the people that are causing this. I'm blaming everybody else who has a chance to stop this before it happens without your pitchfork and torch routine. All right, Ken, I see you out there. We're going to take your call when we get back from the break. If you want to get lined up, 330-729-9977. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hi, Helen. You coming to lunch today?
No, I can't find my red jewel.
Oh, okay. Helen lost her jewelry.
Oh, you know what? Helen is probably playing Jewel Quest on iPlay.com.
Hi, Helen. You meeting the girls for dinner?
No, I'm busy with the new romance.
Okay.
What is she doing tonight?
Helen says she's with a man?
Oh, she's playing Dark Romance on iPlay.com.
Helen, it's bridge night. Want to come over early?
Lucky 7, come on, baby, show me the jewel. Jackpot. Gotta go.
What?
What's going on?
Helen is in Las Vegas with her new boyfriend, and he has her jewels.
Helen is playing Las Vegas Casino on iPlay.com. Download iPlay.com for free to your PC and start your own adventure. You can choose from over 2,500 games. It's fun, easy to use, and if you like it, the low monthly payment lets you play as often as you want.
It's 2 o'clock. Always a good time to call Baird Brothers. Shop the bargain tree at BairdBrothers.com. News Radio 570 WKBN, Youngstown.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. The FBI's deputy director is out of a job. ABC's Pierre Thomas says it's something President Trump has been demanding for months.
Just 2 days from retirement, the FBI's former number 2 in command fired by Attorney General Jeff Sessions over allegedly misleading statements. Now Andrew McCabe potentially losing his full pension after 22 years in the FBI. McCabe now out over an Inspector General's report finding he allowed FBI officials to speak with a reporter about the Clinton Foundation probe and then misled investigators who asked him about it. McCabe, according to sources, has denied misleading anyone.
The president tweeting McCabe's firing was a great day for democracy and for the hardworking men and women of the FBI. Mr. Trump's personal lawyer says McCabe's firing should be followed by the end of independent counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. John Dowd says it was based on a corrupt dossier. 3 bodies have been pulled from the rubble of a bridge collapse in Florida. They were in 2 vehicles recovered this morning.
We're hopeful that within the next 12 hours or so, we will have completed the mission, but no guarantees. It's going to be a long process.
Juan Perez with Miami-Dade police says at least 6 people are dead. Russia kicking out 23 British diplomats after the UK expelled Russian diplomats following the poisoning of a former spy and his daughter. The nation's biggest St. Patrick's Day parade is now underway in New York City.
The 257th New York City St. Patrick's Day parade makes its way up Fifth Avenue. More than 100,000 marchers, more than 2 million spectators along the route, and a green stripe is painted all the way up Fifth Avenue to mark St. Patrick's Day.
ABC's Aaron Katursky in Manhattan. Federal regulators are looking into certain Hyundai and Kia models which may have defective airbags. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. The Fargo Public Schools in North Dakota has announced that Youngstown CEO Krish Mohip is a superintendent finalist. Mohip is also a finalist for the superintendent job in Boulder, Colorado. Interviews for the North Dakota position happen next week. Congressman Tim Ryan has introduced new legislation to get more money to fight the opioid epidemic. The bill would provide $1 billion in funding. It would also increase the penalties on drug manufacturers that don't report suspicious orders, as well as put a 3-day limit on the number of opioid prescriptions for pain. You may be hearing the sound of gunfire and explosions in the area off Denick Avenue. 27 First News reports Youngstown Mayor Tito Brown says a World War II reenactment club is conducting exercises this afternoon and Sunday at the GF property. The event is not open to the public. Construction has started on the new interchange being built on I-680 between Western Reserve Road and the Turnpike. Officials with Ohio Department of Transportation will be in the area next week talking to businesses about traffic delays due to the construction. The $11 million project should be done November of 2019. Attorneys for a convicted killer of an Ohio State student asked for mercy during sentencing yesterday. A jury deliberated just 5 hours Tuesday to convict Brian Goldsby on all counts in connection with the kidnapping, robbery, rape, and murder of Ohio State University student Reagan Tokes. In sports, the Cavs at Chicago, 7:30 pregame tonight on the Sports Animal 1390 WNIO. On the ice, the Youngstown Phantoms beat Green Bay 3-2. Preseason baseball, Oakland beat the
Our next update at 2:30. Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
Quiet, comfort, and affordability. The most important things when choosing a place to live. Westchester Square Apartments offers something to fit every need and budget. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They rent apartments, but they sell convenience. You can find luxury living at Westchester Executive Apartments, 1,200 square feet of upscale living with carports, or independent senior living at Westchester Commons, strategically located in the center of Austintown right next to Route 11. For the perfect apartment, call 330-799-5758. Come and be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square Apartments, Austintown. For more information, go to waldenmanagement.com.
2 rock and roll legends join forces. John Fogerty and ZZ Top. Blues and Bayous Tour. June 19th, the Covelli Center. Reserved seats are on sale now at Southwoods Health Box Office and Ticketmaster.com. John Fogerty and ZZ Top. Produced by JAC Live.
If you're experiencing low energy and trouble sleeping, you're going to want to listen to Chris McKay. Sunday morning, 8:30. Learn how you can deal with this and get more energy. Sunday, 8:30, 570 WKBN. Sample the real essence of Spain's life and culture when you visit Cava, Tapas and Wine Bar on the Strip in Niles.
Cool your home this summer. Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast from News Radio 570 WKBN.
An iHeart radio station.
Skies will become partly sunny throughout the afternoon, a high 42. Tonight, mostly clear, a low 22. Sunshine Sunday with a high of 50. Monday, mostly sunny and a high 46.
It's now 39.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, Hour 2. And so if you want to join us, 330-729-9977. We get this luxury of talking with this media to talk about things that we like doing. We like to tinker. We like this technology thing. Makes us all better, faster, and stronger. Once we get past the intimidating phase of it being smarter than us, then we can start to play around and tinker around until we learn enough stuff. We have this show that we can kind of come gather here on weekends, share ideas, and if anything that we're working on has left us stumped, we can kind of air it in the public like this and all learn collectively. So just because when you bring something to the table, there's a chance that there are 15 other people at that exact moment that would benefit from hearing what you have to say. So don't think of it as a selfish thing where you're coming to the table and you just want help. We're using you to help a ton of people who are listening to this program. And this week we really ramped up the distribution of this show. We are on social media everywhere. This show is being broadcast on iHeartRadio first and foremost. So if that's your favorite method, iHeart's the way to go as far as from your mobile devices and being able to get all of this program. We have a video feed that goes out to everything from Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, new one, Smashcast, and Periscope. So if you take your favorite video feeds, you can add us there and subscribe to those programs so that every week you can see the show brought to you live. We are hosted here at the iHeartRadio studios in Boardman, Ohio. So for all of those joining us, we really thank those guys for spreading it and giving us this place to be able to do our show every week. So make sure you support our host here, iHeart, as much as you can, because they really do bring great content down to our mobile phones. Gone from, where we relied on things terrestrial, where it can follow you everywhere you go, no matter what state, what country you head to. iHeart can bring you the content that you all depend on. So thanks to iHeart for all they do. All right, let's go right off to Ken. Ken's been waiting a while. Ken, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Good. How are you today?
Good.
Thanks for taking the call and for having the show.
Sure.
My question is, I've had Norton Security I've been paying for a few years now on my computer. And I've got a friend of mine that's more techie than I am. I said, why do you do that? You can get McPhee. It doesn't cost anything. It's just as good as Norton. Would you agree with that?
Okay, so every year there are ratings on every antivirus and security package that there are. So we look in January and re-rate all of the products that we see out in the field. So whereas we have a preference for ones that work in most places, we wield them like a tool where in some situations, one's going to work better depending on how the users use the computer. So for instance, on my computer, I want as little antivirus as I can. I'm only planning on it if I do something boneheaded. I hope that I'm running enough software that, at least nags at me enough so I can rethink what it is I'm going to do. So scanning email, scanning some stuff in the background. I don't really need active stuff that's going to get in my way and make everything I'm doing run slower. So I'm the candidate on one side of the pendulum. The other candidate is if you've got, 4 teenage boys using a computer, they are on the far side of the pendulum where you want them locked down, restricted as you can get, protected as you can get. You're going to give up performance. It's going to run really slow, but you're adding that protection. So most of us will opt for the middle of the pendulum, where it's not too heavy, not too light, and it makes us feel comfortable to stay right in the middle. So that was the long answer. Now, so as far as internet security, I think Norton does a relatively good job on their security packages. In the field, we see that it causes some connectivity problems with things like scanners and sometimes with other peripherals that are using the network, so it's a little heavy on at that end. But once you get it working well, it's a really nice, I would say on the scale of 0 to 100, it's about a 70.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, well, I appreciate your input on that.
All right. Thanks, Ken. Appreciate the phone call.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye. And so everyone else, if you... when you're weighing this stuff out, there are considerations. So, there are some antiviruses that are $80 a month or $80 a year, and there's some that are $0 a year. So if price is your biggest consideration, I would rather you go with the not as good but free, so you have something. Right? So if you have 4 computers and you can really only afford to put one of these licenses on, so 3 are going to be unprotected, go with the free one so at least something is on there. Now, our Microsoft has been distributing a pretty good antivirus package with Windows 10. So in a lot of cases, you can just run the Security Essentials or whatever it's called on Windows 10 and be okay. Okay, so in the case where you have Windows 10, we'll have you run the Security Essentials that comes with Microsoft, and then maybe Malwarebytes that you'll run from time to time that will clean up any of those malware infections, maybe once a week, or even pay the full version, which is like $40, and pay the $40 a year, and then it'll sit there and run in the background and scan files off. So it'll act and behave like an antivirus, but it's really protecting you against malware, which we see more malware than we do viruses anymore. So if you're playing the numbers, you're more likely to get affected by some malware that gets stuck in there rather than a full-blown virus. Now, in the Windows 7 world, we're going to be a little heavier no matter what because we're talking about Windows 7. Okay, it's a little bit more open. They really didn't fix all of their security problems by that point. It inherited a lot of legacy things from XP and Vista and the operating systems before. So we like ESET. ESET's probably our favorite, most expensive. Okay, so you're going to pay $60 for ESET, where Avast, the antivirus for Avast is free. So, in terms of what I'll throw on there, I'll put Malwarebytes with Windows Security Essentials on Windows 10. On Windows 7, I'll put ESET NOD32 as the antivirus, and I still might even put Malwarebytes in conjunction to kind of, I won't run it active because I only want one program running active. So the active program is going to be ESET, and I'm going to run Malwarebytes as that cleanup thing where I run every once in a while as a manual utility. But I don't have anything against McAfee, and I don't have anything against Norton because all of them are just, different flavors of the same thing. Are there more complications with these heavier ones? Yeah. If I have the choice to uninstall McAfee's security program, I'm going to take it every time because it messes with everything else I'm trying to get done on my network, and it just gets in the way. So I'm annoyed by it because I do so much stuff with it. Now, if you got a single computer that's getting to the internet and you run it, the worst it's going to do is make a couple websites not load some applets because it's getting in the way. It's trying to protect you from behaviors that it senses is risky. So again, all of these are different flavors that are intended to give you the tools you need to either go into risk or stay away from risk, or feel safe or not feel safe, depending on how you extend. So, but the ratings that we look at in January, there's probably 4 or 5 different companies that do these ratings. And if during the next break I can look up the name of a couple of these to give you some guidance, I will. And that way you can see which one the top one. What's most important is how they tested the top one. Was it they threw 20 viruses at it and it had the biggest catch? Right? Or was it that it had the best balance of performance and it catches? So if it catches 90% and it only reduces performance by 10% versus it caught 98% but it reduced performance by 75%, well, even though it caught more, you're going to be miserable using this computer for day-to-day life. So that matters. And then you add price on there. So you've got 4 different ratings: performance, how much it catches, what it costs, and ease of usership, I believe it is. So those are the 4 things, and then they rate the total overall score, and then you can kind of look down on the ratings and pick your favorite depending on how you're wielding it. But there is not one size fits only when it comes to these antiviruses. So there you go. All right, so. Last week I had the ability to talk in front of a group of insurance brokers, and they asked that I come in, and we talked a little bit about some of the securities that people in offices probably don't consider much of, because everybody's kind of filling this mold about, they talk to their buddies and, they bring in IT every once in a while to do, fixing problems. But the overall philosophy inside of an office is a lot of times overlooked because nobody agrees what they should do. So in your office, what is your password philosophy, where every user in your office has to follow the rules of changing the password every 3 months on all of their stuff? Well, first of all, most of your people probably have passwords that are terribly insecure and simple, right, for ease of remembering, because we don't have a policy. And number 2, you probably never change them unless there's a problem. So you're probably not doing much proactive in pretty much any way in your office. But this kind of talking about it out loud with people who were just there for the information, thought this translates to a lot of people who weren't in that office. And so, sharing that with all of you in those considerations when you walk in, okay, HIPAA in the medical field, they force you to do this stuff. They force you to change passwords. And when someone is no longer working in a place, all passwords change. And so there are a lot of security precautions that have to happen, and a lot of them are timed, and some of them wait for something to be triggered. Now, we all know what would happen if we showed up one day and our computer wouldn't come on. But what happens when, we notice a change in our computer? It gets slower, it starts making noise. What's the policy there? So I would recommend that if you're a manager or you're a business owner, that you at the very least invent some of the most obvious security protocols, and also, procedural protocols. If that, can you do procedural protocols? Yeah, but anyway, just figure out how you're going to treat things as they are likely to occur. And that way, when they happen, you already kind of know what it is that you're going to do. And so I'll give you some of the rules that most people follow and that we recommend. Number one is that you're going to want to get familiar with some kind of password management protocol. Okay, so you have to decide whether or not the managers are going to control the passwords or the users are going to control the passwords. How many times I've walked into an office and they say, hey, this person's no longer with us, can you get me into their computer? And we made it secure and locked down, but administrators allowed them to change their own password, and now they took control of the computer before they left, and the only thing we can really do is wipe it out. Okay, that's productivity loss. Where if the administrators were in control, then when the user wanted to change a password, they couldn't do it in the first place, but they can go to their managers, ask that the password be changed, or as part of a password change policy, that it would be changed every 6 months or every quarter or something like that. Now, so that's one thing is deciding what it is you're going to do. Then the passwords that you pick have to be sophisticated, and that means that they're not easily guessed by people who would either show up at your, in your office and try to get into a computer, or try to hack from the outside world. And, if you get infected, those passwords, then spread to the internet, and they're tried everywhere. So if somebody's using password 123, and don't be ashamed, a lot of people have that password, and you use that in more than one place, well, it gets out one time, and they just try it everywhere. If they knew it was password 123 at your Office 365, they're going to try it with eBay and PayPal and Amazon and, any other web things, like all over the place, until they've unlocked as many of the sites as they can using that single password. So when I say password management tool, we have Dashlane that does a really good job. We have LastPass. That's the one I personally use. LastPass sort of runs like a little helper app on the machine, and it makes up the password. Half of my passwords, I don't even know what they are, right? Because I had LastPass create a password that was 92 digits long, and all I did was copy, paste, and change the password, and LastPass remembers it. Okay, and with LastPass, I'm in control of it. I have one password to remember, and I'm convinced that LastPass is secure, and that it's safe to use as long as I follow the LastPass rules. So if I go to a place and I use my LastPass and I log it in, well, if it's logged in, anybody that's on that computer can use my LastPass. So I have to log it in and log it out, make sure I do not leave a computer with my LastPass enabled, because once it's on, it's managing. So if I'm at a public computer, don't even use LastPass. All right. So anyway, so that's the principle governing passwords. And you've heard me say it before: 8 digits, uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and also a symbol of some kind, like an exclamation point or a pound sign or a parentheses or an asterisk. And so if you write down those 4 things, you make sure, okay, do I have uppercase and lowercase letters in my password? Yep. Do I have some numbers? Yep. Am I at least 8 digits? Yep. And do I have a symbol? Yep. That probably gives you the best ability, because those combinations don't appear in a dictionary. And dictionary attacks are usually how they crack into things if they're not harvesting from you. So if you keep it your name or the street you grew up on or something that would appear in a dictionary, you've given them most of the password. They don't have to work all that much harder to get the rest of the password. Because remember, these systems can do millions of combinations of password tries over and over and over again, starting with A, then AA, then AAA, and just keep going through the dictionary until they're onto something and they get something unlocked. So hope that's helpful for all of you who are office managers, or in a position that you own a company. There are many, many more of these things that you can unlock and set procedures. But just on a lunch, talk about the things that are being it's not being governed by anything. Bring a company like Youngstown Computer in, and I'll evaluate it. I'll show you where your weaknesses are and what's most likely to happen, because I see hundreds of companies Okay, so I can compare what other people are doing and compare you against that and see how you are on that risk. Give you a risk assessment of where your biggest weaknesses are, and then just help you write some policies, and then you get to enforce it. It's not creating a dependency other than giving you some good advice that keeps you safe and allows you to make up those commitments that keep everybody in your office safe as well. It saves money in the long run. Let me guarantee you that. So, Gary, we're going to take your call when we come back from the break. The phone number, 330-729-9977. You can also text me at 333-1570, and I'll answer those texts when we get back as well. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Eric Clark, now at Fairway Ford in Canfield. We're really excited to be adopting a new fully transparent sales process. You are only with one person throughout your entire purchase experience. There is no back and forth and running to the man behind the curtain. Our sales team is fully empowered to work out everything right in front of you. You will know your discounts, trade-in, interest rate, and payment, all within minutes. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Hey friends, as a marketer, you want to reach everyone, right? Adults, teens, millennials. But it's not like all these groups hang out in the same place. Actually wrong. They're all right here listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. Now that's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, we reach 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to? Hey, they're all in one place. Right here. Get AM/FM working for you. Go to iHeartMedia.com.
Save big during the Menard Day sale. Dakota makes it easy to create your own custom storage space. From modular systems to pre-finished shelving and even closet kits, there's a Dakota product for every room of your home. 7 3/4 inch deep, 4-foot pre-finished shelves in 5 finishes are $4.99 each after rebate during the Menard Day sale. Get great deals now through March 17th.
Save big money at Menards.
The Hometown Advantage. It's up and down Main Street. It's also in the office downtown, the factory by the river, and the farm down the road. That's because most folks who work here love living here. They care about this community. They work hard to succeed, and that makes a difference. At MahoningValleyHelpWanted.com, we're proud to work our Hometown Advantage around the clock, connecting local employers to local job seekers. Post your job today on
Bernard Daniels' 100th year of serving the Valley, and the savings have never been better. Right now, Bernard Daniels is offering 50% off select Anderson storm doors. That's 50% off. Closeout engineered hardwood as low as $1.35 per square foot while supplies last. And select steel roofing and siding is $2.15 per linear foot. As always, you know Bernard Daniels has your greatest selection of pole barns that they will install. But you got to schedule soon, only at Bernard Daniels in Canfield. BDLumber.com.
Attention everyone, this is Flinny announcing the tire deal of the month.
Get $60 my mail on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Destination or Champion tires at Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. Whatever you drive a Firestone. Go to our website at flynnstire.com or visit any Flynn's location.
And tell them Flinny sent you.
Claim form required. See your participating Firestone retailer or FirestoneTire.com. 2 claims per household. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Prepaid card issued by the Bancorp Bank. Member FDIC and can be used everywhere. Visa, debit card, or
So like many of you, I have trouble sleeping. I have insomnia. No matter what I tried, it wouldn't work.
until I met Mike Lindell and I got my very own MyPillow. It has changed my life. What makes MyPillow so different is MyPillow's patented adjustable fill. In other words, you can adjust the patented fill to your exact individual needs so you get the support you need and want to help you get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 1-800-919-6090. Remember, use the promo code Hannity. When you do, Mike Lindell will give you his best offer ever. Buy one pillow and get another one absolutely free. MyPillow, made in the USA, 10-year unconditional warranty, and it has a 60-day, no-questions-asked money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. So it's time for you to start getting the quality of sleep that you've been wanting and we need. Just go to MyPillow.com or call 800-919-6090. Promo code Hannity. Take advantage of Mike's special 2-for-1 offer. MyPillow.com, promo code Hannity.
Currently 38.
Indians and Cubs today at 3:59.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, and first, let me tell you, if any of you do need the services of Youngstown Computer, please head over to our website, either youngstowncomputer.com, or you can call and request some service. Mondays, fill up as far as appointments go, so if you have something to drop off, we'll be more than happy to take a look at something for you. Do everything from services, repairs, consultations, commercial and residential. We do field stuff as well. So anything that you're in need of, make sure that you touch base with our guys. They will definitely take care of you. Very service-oriented and not, they don't put emphasis on sales. So they're not going to try to oversell you, or pretty much they're going to guide you into what you come in and ask for. So again, professional problem solvers that just are led by the data that you throw in front of them, and they're very helpful, very intelligent guys. So make sure 330-259-7278 is the phone number. Both Anthony and David staffing it Monday through Friday. So if you have something you want to schedule today, you can go to the web, schedule your own appointment as of right now, claim your spot, and then get something dropped off and taken care of. So again, 330-259-7278 is the phone number, youngstowncomputer.com. All right, let's go to Gary. He's been hanging on a while. Gary, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yes, I have a network issue. What's happened is I changed the work group name, and what's happened is last night all of my computers were recognizing the work group. Now all of a sudden I can't even access the work group through any of my machines, especially the wired ones.
Okay. Now, it could be, are these Windows 10 machines or Windows 7?
Well, there's a mixture. I got 10, 7, and XP.
Gotcha. Okay, so primarily what we see more than anything else is that when networks are changed out, where they're disconnected, the network will be classified as a public network rather than a private network. And when it is done, when that happens, it sort of resets how it governs communication between each one of the workstations. So especially if you have something that's hosted on a Windows 10, everything in your network is going to kind of look at it as an untrusted source, and it's going to block stuff that's coming in. So the sort of the bullet points you want to follow is, number one, set the network type, reset it so that it is private. And that way, that is the most open version. That means that you trust the computers around. You're in a private residence. You're not in a public place. And it's, public is if you go to a coffee shop, and if you get categorized as public, meaning you're sort of protecting your computer from other computers that might be in that coffee shop. Second thing is going to be Windows Firewall. Sometimes if the firewall gets a little bit overzealous and will start blocking legitimate communication. So you might have to open up what it's paying attention to. Scanners and file sharing and stuff like that sometimes is under there. Gary, I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to say a little bit more when we come back. Can you hang on?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to put Gary on hold. We'll talk more about that file sharing, and we'll teach you a little bit more about Windows networking when we come back. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be back.
Here's what's happening in the Valley. A Attorneys for a convicted killer of an Ohio State student asked for mercy during sentencing yesterday. A jury deliberated just 5 hours Tuesday to convict Brian Goldsby on all counts in connection with the kidnapping, robbery, rape, and murder of Ohio State University student Reagan Tokes. Congressman Tim Ryan has introduced new legislation to get more money to fight the opioid epidemic. The bill would provide $1 billion in funding. It would also increase the penalties on drug manufacturers that don't report suspicious orders, as well as put a 3-day limit on the number of opioid prescriptions for pain. The public schools in Fargo, North Dakota have announced that Youngstown CEO Krish Mohip is a superintendent finalist. Mohip is also a finalist for the superintendent job in Boulder, Colorado. The North Dakota interviews happen next week. You may be hearing the sounds of gunfire in the area near Denick Avenue. 27 First News reports Youngstown Mayor Tito Brown says a World War II reenactment club is conducting exercises this afternoon and Sunday at the GF property. The event is not open to the public. Construction has started on the new interchange being built on I-680 between Western Reserve Road and the Turnpike. Officials with Ohio Department of Transportation will be in the area next week talking to businesses about traffic delays due to the construction. The $11 million project should be done November of 2019. In sports, the Cavs at Chicago, 7:30 pregame tonight on the Sports Animal 1390 WNIO. On the ice, the Youngstown Phantoms beat Green Bay 3-2. Preseason baseball, Oakland beat the Indians yesterday 7-3. The Tribe takes on the Cubs today, 3:59 this afternoon on News Radio 570 WKBN. From the all-new and 2018 Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3.
DMXI, the name the Valley has grown to trust with medical imaging, has now expanded their services to include personal injury cases. If you're involved with a personal injury case and would like to save money on your medical imaging, just remember DMXI. Remember, it's your choice where to have your imaging done, and Dr. Adam Crouch and his team will be there to help you receive the best imaging services possible. See all of their services at DMXI.com or just stop in. DMXI, just off Todd Avenue in Boardman. Four Seasons Flea Market at 3000 McCartney Road, open every Wednesday and Sunday from 8 till 4 with small businesses under one roof, all offering something different like fresh produce, baked goods, Steelers and Browns items, fresh flowers, sports memorabilia, masseuse and palm reader, or how about knives and more for the outdoorsman. Four Seasons Flea Market offers homemade oils and scents plus t-shirts and pet items. There's so much to see, you just have to stop by. Four Seasons Flea Market, McCartney Road in Camel.
As you know, that Leonard Truck and Trailer has been the area source for trailers for nearly 54 years. That's right, Cord. But what a whole lot of people don't know, Leonard Truck and Trailer has added the Armory at LTT. We now offer a huge selection of firearms from every major manufacturer and guns for all your concealed carry, hunting, and sporting needs. The Armory at LTT offers a complete gunsmithing service, customization, and refurbishing. The Armory at LTT inside Leonard Truck and Trailer in North Jackson, Ohio.
Fast Freddy here to tell you that St. Patty's Day is rocking at Magic Tree on South Avenue in Boardman. We got the Dickie White Band. We got the Chardon Polka Band coming up a little later on. We've got pipers. We got great food and drink specials. I'm here rocking the house. Come on out and join us. The best St. Patty's Day party in town is going on at Magic Tree with Coors Light and 93.3 The Wolf.
So, what are you guys doing this weekend?
Saturday, we're going to the Canfield Lions Craft Quilt and Antique Show.
Free admission, free parking.
A craft show? Hey, is Jerry going with you?
Yeah, there's over 140 craft spaces.
Free admission, free parking.
Is that the one at Canfield High School?
Uh-huh. And they have dozens of beautiful handmade quilts. I went there last year and found so much neat stuff. There's a 50-50 raffle, and there's plenty of good food.
The Canfield Lions Annual Craft Quilt and Antique Show, Saturday, March 17th from 10 to 4 at Canfield High School.
Tune in every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. for the Mahoning Valley Sportsman Show, hosted by Mike Craig. Proudly brought to you by Bolt Construction. Over 35 years of doing things right in the gas and oil industry and airport gathering systems. Online at boltconstruction.cc.
People make your business work. But how do you find the right talent? ZipRecruiter. One click posts your job to over 100 top job boards. Then, smart matching technology instantly alerts quality candidates about your job. No wonder 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
To try ZipRecruiter for free, just go to ZipRecruiter.com/now. That's ZipRecruiter.com/now.
Are you dreaming of something greater? A college degree, job skills, a rewarding career? The Ohio Army National Guard can help you get the education you need to land the career you've always wanted. The Ohio National Guard Scholarship Program could pay 100% of your college tuition. You're eligible for the scholarship as soon as you enlist. Learn more about the many benefits that come with serving in the Ohio Army National Guard. Visit NationalGuard.com today. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The clock is ticking. Every day you put off buying life insurance can cost you big time. The older you get, the more you'll have to pay. And a sudden accident or unexpected illness could cause your rates to skyrocket or even make you uninsurable. Beat the clock. Call Select Quote now. No hassle, no obligation. In minutes, you'll have a choice of your best rates from up to 10 highly rated life insurance companies. Richard, 40 years old, takes meds to control his cholesterol. Still, Select Quote got him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. Under $1 a day. Don't risk your family security another minute. Get your free quote now. Just call 800-280-8787. That's 800-280-8787. 800-280-8787. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Just ahead, more stimulating talk from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
Need a furnace and AC checkup? Call Mazza Heating and Cooling in Girard, your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast from News Radio 570 WKBN.
An iHeart radio station.
Skies will become partly sunny throughout the afternoon, a high 42. Tonight, mostly clear, a low 22. Sunshine Sunday with a high of 50. Monday, mostly sunny and a high 46.
It's now 39.
News on demand. Go to 570WKBN.com. Bad credit, no credit. Special financing available at Donnell Ford. Market Street, Boardman.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. We get to talk about things that are happening in the tech world. We left the last break. We were talking to Gary. Gary made some networking changes where work group was changed, and there were some connectivity failures that happened after that. First part of the advice that we picked up was that when you make a networking change, albeit a Ethernet or wireless or work group change, that you may then be classified as in a different sort of security profile than you were before. So you got to make sure first on our bullet point list, our checklist, we're going to make sure that our network is either a work classification or a private classification. Those are the two most open that will allow regular network traffic to be able to do what it needs to do. So that's where I left off. Let's bring Gary back on the line. Gary, you still with us?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so the next thing that you want to consider is if you have advanced sharing enabled where it's using password protection. So if you have a folder that's shared and it has password protecting enabled, that hosted workstation is going to start comparing usernames and passwords to see who's allowed to into folders and not. If you want it to be as open public sharing, then you have to enable or disable password protecting sharing and disable that. Then it becomes like more of a public share, not usernames and passwords. So so far so good.
Yeah. Now, what about the I have a main router, and then I'm using older routers as just extenders. Now, does the SSID have to match, or do they need to be different?
No, in fact, once you get on the network, once you're included there, inside the access point routers, there is an isolation mode that it can create where it prevents users from being able to see other users. So if you do have that security set, then yes, it's going to keep those isolated. It usually uses VLANs or a separate network. So if you notice, your regular network's 192.168.1 and your wireless ones are 168.3.1, then it's created a separate network for that traffic, which is keeping it away from your other computers.
Okay, well, what I'm referring to is, like, for example, the main router is like Unit 0, and then the first one is Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3. And what I'm talking about is the SSID.
Yeah, once it permisses you, once you see the SSID and you're on the network, then you're part of the network. And that way it would be off, if you weren't getting there, then you might have some problems. But once you're on the network, you're part of that network.
Okay, because the wireless connection, that sees all four of them, and then I click on the one that's the strongest. But on the wired, I noticed when I was doing it last night, I had like 3 or 4 different work groups noticing, the differences. And what I was trying to do was set up all the computers, like, for example, Unit 0 as the work group. And then even if the other ones were connected to Unit 1, I still put those on Unit 0, so it goes to the main router. Was that an error?
So, you really only want to have one router in the role of routing. The other ones can be participating as access points. But if you have more than one router in, one might be assigning IP addresses on this side of the network, and this one might be collecting a totally different group of computers. So you might actually have routers fighting and competing on your network and keeping machines away from one another.
Okay. Well, what I did was I disabled the DHCP
Perfect.
on the other 3.
Okay.
So they're acting as just extenders.
Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what you want to do, and that way the role of doling out IP addresses is going to your primary one, and then the rest of them are just being passed through.
Right. But what I was trying to figure out is the work group on the computer. It has to match one of those work groups, not mixed.
Right. All the work groups have to be the same, or else, again, they'll be separated by that profile. Match up, make sure, I would check to make sure the work groups all match, that you, all on those machines, not only does it get an IP address that's in the same schema as the rest, but you can ping the other machines that are on that network. Because if you don't see those other machines, Windows networking is not going to, fill in the gaps. You got to be able to, through TCP/IP, be able to ping out the IP addresses for the other machines on that network.
Okay, because just real quick, the Internet portion is working. It's just getting into the local networks, to each machine for sharing and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, even though you got Internet, the routers, if something's misconfigured, it might be getting you to an Internet connection, but keeping you separated from the networking standpoint to see other computers. I would honestly just go, and not all of these might apply to you, so you want to go make sure, number one, you're in the same group. Number two, that you ping out all of the IP addresses, you can see everything as part of the network. Number three, all of the password-protected sharing is turned off. Number four, take some of the firewalling and temporarily remove it so that you can get just traffic rolling again, and then you can throw that security stuff back in play again.
Okay, I'll try that, and I might give you an update next week if I still run into a problem.
All right, perfect.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks, Gary. I wish you luck. I hope everything works out for you, and make sure you do check back in with us next week. 330-729-9977. There was also a text message came in. Let me get to that one next before I move on to more calls. Joe, what download sites would you recommend, File Hippo or CNET? Okay, so got to think of it this way. Joe's philosophy on free stuff has always been the same. So there is a way that somebody who offers something for you for free has to create revenue somewhere. So file downloading sites, if you don't know how they're making their money, then you don't want to be participating in, some of the practices that are a little aggressive, right? So there's a time when you would go to CNET, download some software, and then you get pummeled with not only the stuff that you wanted, but another program would show up when you were downloading that one. That's the kind of stuff that drives me crazy about CNET, where they, download.com was I think it was purchased by CNET a long time ago. And they would, if you weren't careful, you were going to click on a download link that would make, security software sign up. So I avoid CNET or download.com like the plague, just because of the history that I have with them. File Hippo is pretty obvious that they're ad driven. So if you stay away from the ads and those clicks, they're completely left separate. You can tell what's an ad and you can tell what's a download link. So File Hippo is my go-to to be able to find it. And for any of you who have never been there before, File Hippo is basically a library of just about every version of software that's imaginable. So if you wanted to get Norton, where if you go to Norton, the Semantics website, you can download the most recent one. You go to File Hippo, you can get every revision they could get their hands on. You can go back 3 years and find software. Like if you have your license for old software, but you don't have the actual disk, chances are you can dig up the same year that matches your license, and then you're made complete again. So it's a good reserve of downloadable executables and MSI files that allow you to build back up any missing software that you might have come across. So 330-729-9977. Let's go to Roger next. Roger, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hi, Joe. How you doing?
Real good.
I want to know if I have a problem or not. I have an Asus laptop, Windows 10. When I got it, I brought it down to you, and you put on Avast with it. I also have CC Cleaner on it. Now, in the past, when I've run CC Cleaner, it'll take about 8 seconds, for the bar to run across the top to say 100%. And then run it 1 or 2 times, it comes up at the bottom, 0 bytes removed. The cookies, everything else they've gone through has been removed. Lately, when I hit CC Cleaner, the bar will go up to 14%, and it'll stop for about 30 to 45 seconds before it hits 100%. And then it comes up down below how many bytes have been removed. If I hit it a second time, it'll go to about 20% stop for about 15 seconds or so, then go to 100%. Same thing about what's been removed. After that, if I keep hitting the clean portion of it, it goes for about 8 seconds, and it keeps repeating. Cookies removed, so many bytes. Internet history, so many bytes. It never gets to that point where it says 0 bytes removed. In the past, you used to tell me it was all clean, correct?
Yeah, and so basically for everybody else who's listening, CCleaner is a sort of an aggregate of tools that do things like keep the temp files clean and keep the cookies clean and stuff like that. Now, if it's stumbling on some files where it just can't remove it, mark it, or anything, you're going to have to go into manual mode and get those cleaned up the old-fashioned way by running either the file system tools through Windows, the disk cleanup tools through Windows, run as many of the manual ones, get it so some of that stuff is unlocked again, and then CCleaner can start doing the majority of the heavy lifting again. It goes a period of time where it just gets to files that it's just not allowed to do what it needs to do with it, and it kind of gets stuck in that cycle.
So I'd have to bring that in to have you do that?
Probably. Has it been a while since you had it in?
I've had it about a year and a half, maybe.
Okay, I would do this when it's time for sort of spring cleanup. Wait for us to do that whole $99 special. Bring it in and just let us know. When we do our deal, we'll force it through, and then when we hand it back to you, then CCleaner will make sure that it works when we hand it back to you.
Okay, so right now it's not cleaning everything up, correct?
Right. That's correct. There's something it can't get beyond, and that's why it's kind of stuck where it is.
Okay, good enough. Now I understand. Okay, thanks a lot. I'll see you in a few months.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Roger.
Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.
Take care. All right, let's see how much time I have, if I have enough time. Oh, yeah, let's go to Carl next. Carl, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, good afternoon. Came in a little bit late on a conversation you had to the prior caller about maybe it's network discovery or something.
Yeah.
He's not seeing workstations. Now, I don't know if he's using a server in this configuration or not, but I've encountered that network discovery shuts itself off if you don't turn on 4 services to be automatic on startup.
So through the services, network discovery won't. Can you repeat that last part?
Okay, so if you don't turn these 4 services on to be automatic on startup,
gotcha.
Network discovery will shut itself off.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to tell you what 4 services we found that keep network discovery on. The first one is DNS client. The second one is functional discovery. Third one is, I hope I get this acronym right, SPDD.
Okay.
And the last one is UPnP, or Universal Plug and Play.
Okay, got it.
So those 4 services start automatic. Hopefully that helps them out.
Carl, you're awesome. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, take care. All right. So, and another thing, if when you're troubleshooting this stuff, you can start looking through the event viewer, look through the system, and see if you can get any red flags of lots of failures. In this case, you noticed a couple of services were starting up but then failing out, and which might have led to network discovery. So those 4 that he read off, definitely look into it and see if they're two cases, either disabled or failing. You might have it marked as automatic, but then when Windows starts booting, something is closing them down. And so this is kind of like nitpicking, and a lot of these things that we're talking about, an advanced user should be going and messing with. But it's worth looking into, especially if you're setting up networks. You probably have the ability to go through Windows services, get familiar with some of those and what they do. And like Carl suggested here, you can start experimenting and seeing if you can figure out why network discovery. If you go in there and it's not on, if it's failed out, you can go back in there and research it and find out what's kicking it off there. You can manually start it, and that'll get you by in the short term, and then later you can figure out what might be messing with it. It might be your antivirus, it might be your firewall, it might be software, it might be just damaged, and you have to run a system repair on it to get it functioning again. But great idea, and that's what I love about our audience, and I say it just about every show. I love the total collective intelligence by everybody who listens to this show. Not only the people out there are listening that are taking in information and learning, but we have really sophisticated audience that know this stuff. And when they hear something, it's triggering in their brain, they call and share it with you, because this collaboration makes all of us smarter, makes all of us better users, myself included. So I want to encourage everyone who listens to the show, even if it's through text messaging or calling. I really appreciate all of you who stay and participate in it and have become part of this show. World's smartest audience right here in Youngstown, Ohio. So thanks a lot. All right, 330-729-9977. We're going to take a break. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. We'll be right back.
Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? Are you facing potential wage garnishments, levies, or tax liens? With a call to the Attorney's Tax Relief Helpline, you can get the tax help you need through special programs that can reduce your liability by thousands of dollars. Pick up your mobile
Age-old question, how to extend your life? Well, getting the right form of vitamin C may help. Tune in Sunday morning at 7 and hear Dr. Michael Pincus. Get the information you need on 570 WKBN.
Attention everyone. This is Flinny announcing the tire deal of the month.
Get $60 My Mail on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Destination or Champion tires at Flynn's Tire and Auto Service. Whatever you drive a Firestone. Go to our website at flynnstire.com or visit any Flynn's location.
And tell them Flinny sent you.
Claim form required. See your participating Firestone retailer or FirestoneTire.com. 2 claims per household. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Prepaid card issued by the Bancorp Bank. Member FDIC and can be used everywhere. Visa, debit.
Hi, this is Dan Rivers. Americans, we are a busy lot, huh? Always on the move. In the car, in the office, working around the house. We can't sit still. So how do you, as a marketer, connect with those moving targets? Radio. It reaches 93% of Americans each week. People just don't have the time to sit and watch TV. So when you want to connect with all those constantly moving targets, get AM/FM working for you. Just go to iHeartMedia.com.
All your favorite music, all
all your favorite stations, all free. That's iHeartRadio. All your favorite music.
This is Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones.
Hi, this is Mick Jones of Foreigner on iHeartRadio.
And iHeartRadio is all your favorite stations. Thousands of the best radio stations from across the country. Plus, iHeartRadio is free. Download the app today. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio. It's now 39.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and just a little bit about what Youngstown Computer is doing here. We're doing some exciting stuff over the next couple months. This is going to be a big year. We did a lot of reinventing. We did, we redid our offices. Our space is amazing. Our environments are great. We are going to be adding more field staff and more bench staff. The growth that you're going to see over the course of the next couple of months is going to be pretty amazing. And you can feel good about when you support Youngstown Computer. Not only do we run a very tight ship, we're high principled. We're honest integrity. We do what we say we're going to do. Our price setting, we always try to be competitive and make it sure that we're in the realm of this market. We also, the way we spend the revenue locally, we spend it, we buy local. And another thing is we invest also into businesses and this valley. So when we run some of our programs where we're promoting things downtown, that is coming because of the success of Youngstown Computer. You lent the name Youngstown to Youngstown Computer, and now Youngstown Computer is giving back and doing what it can to support and bring jobs and bring interest and bring success to everybody who benefits from all the stuff that we do. So you can feel good about that the money that you spend stays here, and it not just supports jobs with Youngstown Computer, it spills over into the other areas where, behind the scenes, I'm a business guy, and we are working with smaller businesses that help them get going. So we might work with 3 or 4, single operator businesses by next year, have 3 and 4 employees themselves. And we're doing these all the time. So we're investing in the people and the businesses and the promotion of existing businesses. We're all in. So you can feel good about that. So if you need another reason to deal with us, I wanted our work to speak for ourselves. We've built a great reputation and we've done things the right way. We've partnered with all the right people. Really, we knocked it out of the park in everything that I wanted to accomplish here. And now from this point forward, we're going to continue to grow our stuff up. I think it's necessary that, we've been very loyal to the market share or the market, and the market's been very loyal to us. But that altruistic version of what we give back, we're not really paying attention to dollars and cents and production. We're looking at creating, inventing. So when I'm working with a single operator that all they need is a little bit of guidance and they can be a full-blown multi-employee business, that's a big deal to me. That's taking revenues from Youngstown Computer, investing it into the community, and getting what we need more than anything else is the keeping our talent here, keeping our jobs here, spending our money here. So if we do everything right, not only can you help us, but then we can turn around and you're passing right through us. You make us successful, and we try our best to pass that success on to the next generation of people. So again, if you didn't need another reason, I don't know that you did. So 330-259-7278 gives you that opportunity to deal with Youngstown Computer. And we really hope if that comes up, you will give us a shot at whatever comes down the pike. So 330-259-7278. So thanks everybody who listened to the program and participated, and everybody out there on streaming. You have listened to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. Have a great week.
Cruise, all expenses paid. 7-day cruise? Nobody just wins a 7-day cruise. Sorry, but being at home doesn't